Hey, you guys, what's happening? My name is Tabitha Simmons, and I'm the host of In My City. And tonight we are actually scheduled for an amazing interview. So we're just biding some time, waiting on him to come on in. But until then, I'm going to sit and talk with you guys for just a little while. But listen, let me go ahead and get my intro out of the way. If you have not logged in or not had the pleasure of logging in or seeing In My City, this is your first time, then welcome. Thank you so much. We're trying to work out a few things, but in the meantime, hang tight. Ooh, we are back. What's happening, everybody? My name is Tabitha Simmons, and I'm the host of In My City. I almost said what's happening with Tabitha Simmons. That's my radio show. We're still waiting on our interview guest for this evening. Until then, welcome to my channel. Thank you, first of all, to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I know y'all are looking for new content, amazing content besides the Charleston White fiasco. So this is where we're going to talk about extraordinary people. We're going to do live interviews. We're going to be live and on scene in some of our interviews and just going around the city, in my city. We're just going to check out everything and let you meet a couple of extraordinary people and go from there. I'm kind of, this is my first time back in a long time. So thank you guys for joining me. For those of you who have, listen, I wanted to talk about a lot of things on my page. You probably can see a lot of things that are going on as far as, let me turn on my daggone comments. Y'all gonna hear everything, everything. But we talk about a lot of upcoming things, the latest things. Of course, I know you guys have been seeing it everywhere. The crazy foolishness with Krishan Rock and Blueface. I was going to say Babyface. I don't think he would have liked if I did that. Babyface, I'm talking about. But Krishan and Blueface. Oh God. Personally, I think we are looking at modern day. People call it Whitney and Bobby. I say that because I can't really tell what's real right now or what's fake. I'm pretty sure the stuff that we see, the fiasco that we see online with them fighting, I'm pretty sure a lot of that is real. I know that blood was real when she hit him upside the head with that glass. But it's looking like, reality TV is a little different. Reality TV seems to be a bit toxic now with all the fighting. And it's sad that that's what we're watching. And if it wasn't getting reviews or if it wasn't getting ratings, then they wouldn't show it. So clearly, some of y'all out there like it. Y'all like the fighting and the foolishness and the drama and the extra. And listen, to each its own. If you do, to each its own. I like it every now and again. But Krishan, I think personally, I've not been able to figure out who's the culprit in the relationship. You see a lot of people saying he needs to leave her alone. She's giving, clingy vibes, or she needs to leave him alone. He's giving, possessive vibes and all the narcissistic vibes. But I don't know who it is, honestly. And I hate to even discuss it, but got to talk about what's trending. I don't know who it is between the two. I've seen the interviews that they've done, the most recent one where it's just cringy how touchy feely affectionate, and sometimes the looks on his face are like, I'm not feeling it, and y'all help without saying it in a particular manner, help me. But listen, we talked also, what's also trending right now, the 5 officers. Hang tight. I had some specific notes, but I don't know what the hell I did with my notes. I need to have to type that in because y'all can hear everything. I don't like when everybody in my business. But the 5 officers who are being charged with who's this? Mr. Nichols. Sad case. I was listening to the D.L. Hughley show Hold on, y'all. I was listening to the DL Hughley show earlier, and there were people calling in, trying to tell you, trying to let everybody know, give their opinion or whatever as far as what was going on and what was happening all around the world, what everybody was saying, and everything happened so fast. The charges, the indictment, and they fired them, of course, with all the bells and whistles. They're being charged, and I've not seen where it's been an officer involved killing or shooting or something as horrific as that, and it not take forever. Usually they're still, trying to decide if they're going to let them go with no pay and all that other kind of foolishness. And we'd still be waiting around for justice to be served. But in this case, justice seemed to be a bit swift. But that's what's going on in the world. A lot of people, of course, are saying, well, if they weren't black, then we'd still be doing this. But this is what's happening. Black or white, justice still needs to be served, in my opinion. So yeah, absolutely. They have to pay for what they have done. Their parents, his parents saw the video and they described it as Rodney King, a beating like Rodney King, how that situation was. Sadly enough, we have to still continue, and we have to still continue witnessing that. Not only that, but with our own people who seems like they have a bone to pick or a chip on their shoulders. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to go ahead and it looks like Mr. Armstrong is actually finally in the building with us. My guess is probably some technical difficulties because I'm like that. I'm always difficult to some degree. But we're getting ready to let me introduce him properly. He is an author, a speaker. He is a community advocate amongst so many things. And we are here today to discuss his life with the good, the bad, the ugly parts, and how he overcame that as a Black man, and things that most of you want to know that he's probably going to be able to answer for you today. You guys hang tight. Let's add him to the stream.
What's going on? How
Hey,
you
how are
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Let me take these glasses off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Why you so late?
Listen, it's the fact that my computer for some reason was having issues with logging on, so I actually had to reset it, hard shut it off,
Mm,
reset it. Because
mm.
the problem with me, just like I always tell with everybody else, can you hear me good first and foremost?
Absolutely, I can. Mhm,
The problem where I always tell people, like, you got to understand, you got to learn to shut down sometime.
mhm,
If
mhm.
not, your body will tell you. And I
Absolutely.
have a problem with, I never shut my computer off. I would leave my computer on. And so I will put it on either sleep. So when I get up, I know exactly where I left off at. So for some reason, it wouldn't let me log on to it. So I had to
Yeah.
reset it for a minute. So I apologize for that.
Nah,
Charge it
you're
to my
good.
heart.
Listen, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna charge you something because I was getting ready to tell you that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Get somebody else to do it.
Don't do
Find you
it.
somebody else to do it. Mm-mm. But we
Don't
are
do
here
it.
now, and I am thankful that you have decided to take a little bit of time out of your busy schedule and hang out with
Absolutely.
me, and we can talk and just, kind of vibe. I don't want it to, my interviewing style is a little bit different than most people. It's just like a conversation between, friends or colleagues, or,
Right.
that's what I wanted to be like. So, without further ado, first of all, let's get started with tell me about a young. Am I saying your name correctly? Is it you know how Black
Go
people are
ahead.
about their name?
I'm gonna try. You
Arkevious,
you said it right the first
Arkevious,
time.
Arkevious.
Yes,
All right, I got
absolutely.
it.
That's me.
Okay, that's what's
Yeah.
up. So tell me about a young Arkevious Armstrong growing up.
Oh man,
Mm,
struggle like everybody else, a struggle. But mine's were more geared towards pain,
mm,
and trauma, hurt, confusion. I was a very broken little boy, and
mm,
a little boy who witnessed, and a little boy who saw a lot, who had to experience a lot from abuse, from my father. Physical abuse, getting beat. You know what I mean? Getting tortured. The separation from my mom, been taken away from her and put in a system into foster care and group homes as a kid because she struggled with her addiction.
mm,
While they were struggling with their addictions and their demons, molestation. You know what I
Mm,
mean? A molestation at a 6, 7, 8 year old little boy, multiple times by people. I'm not saying being. Let me clarify that, because I had a misunderstanding with my brother, because as you starting to grow and you're starting to testify and
mm,
share your story with people, it'll rub people the wrong way. And
mhm,
I had to get someone that was in my family to understand there's a difference between being raped and being molested. And so I had to, and just to clarify, I was molested multiple times by multiple different people, and it was mainly because in the care of my mom, I was in some of these crack houses. When she was getting high, I was in these crack houses, and so a lot of things happened to me when I wasn't being supervised or watched properly. But I
mm,
was that little boy, that little Arkevious. Man, he has a lot of scars. He has a lot of he had a lot of hidden pain. I mean, I'm healed. You hear me, Tabitha? I am a new, revived, and delivered, thriving man who
mm,
tell people about his story. And so many people, they struggle with telling their story because it is attached to so much pain and abuse.
mm.
Don't
I
do that. Don't
agree.
get me started, Tab. Don't get me
Listen,
started.
listen, we got plenty of time. You just got in here. We got plenty of
Let's
time. Oh,
say
we
we're gonna
gonna get
slow it
down
down.
to
We're gonna
it.
slow it
Oh,
down.
we're gonna slow it down. We're gonna get right to it. Don't worry. So when you talk about growing up in the manner of which you did,
Uh-huh.
you talked about you were locked up before, yes?
Yes, ma'am. My
You
whole
went
entire life. My whole entire life. And then when I say my whole entire life, again, I said I went through foster care. I went through
yeah.
group homes. I was in and out the detention centers every single week or every other week. I went to training school, state prison, and federal prison before I was 25 years old. So I spent my whole entire life, my youthful life, in the judicial system. And
Mm,
when I finally made up my mind to turn my life around, I was 24, 25 years old.
mm. And speaking of when you finally made up your mind, what was the driving factor in telling, letting you know, hey, what let you know? Was it a certain thing that happened, an event, the birth of a child? What happened to let you know, hey, this isn't it? It's either in these streets or 6 feet deep.
I was, well, in the streets or 6 feet deep or spend your life in prison.
Mm,
I was okay with that. You know what I mean? That was the bed that I had already made. That was something my whole entire life I witnessed and experienced. But the turning point for me was giving my life to Christ.
mm,
That was the turning point for me. And I remember it very vividly that, um, there were so many brothers in prison. I was in Lexington, Kentucky Federal Prison,
mm,
and a lot of brothers used to come up to me trying to get me to come to Bible study, try to get me to come to Sunday service. Again, believe it or not, I didn't grow up in church. My mom didn't go
mm.
to church. My grandmother didn't go to church. I'm not saying they wasn't believers. It's just that I wasn't raised in church. I didn't go to church at all. So
Understand.
I don't have that background. So let me try this church thing out. So it was that me let me try something that I never tried before.
Mm,
Let me do something that I never done before.
mm,
And what can it hurt? You know what I mean? So my mind was really like, what harm can it really hurt if I go to church one Sunday? And one Sunday, Tabitha, I went to Sunday service, and Lord, did he grab a hold to me in there? And I remember,
mm,
and I got to share this story. Let me share this because
Let's go.
I like when people ask me that, because a lot of people driving force of changing is, like you said, is either your
Mm,
kids, your family,
mm,
or just someone helping you. It was me giving my life to Christ, and that was the turning point for me. And the turning point was, I didn't know what the outcome of me getting released in a few more years. What am I going to do with my life? I'm
mm,
tired of coming in and out of the prisons. I'm tired of dealing with this system. I'm tired of throwing my life away. I'm tired of struggling. I'm just tired. I'm tired.
mm,
And so, most people, they experience these type of things later on in their life, when they was in they late teens and their early teens. But my whole entire life has been in front of the system of people making decisions on what to do with my life as a kid.
mm.
I mean, let me say, my whole life, I mean, I never grew up. So I guess you could say, even when I was doing my time, when I was in federal prison, I was still a lost boy. I was a lost boy in federal prison. You know what I mean? You talking about 21, 22 years old. I'm in federal prison. And
Mm,
but I remember going to Sunday service, and I sat in the back. I didn't let nobody out. I didn't let nobody know I was coming. I sat in the back just in case if I ain't feeling what I'm feeling, I'm gonna slide right up out of here and go
Ease
back
right
to
on out.
ease right on out. A lot of people still to this day do that. So Tabitha, you one of them. You don't even have to put your finger up when you sit in the back because they ain't even gonna know you.
They ain't even gonna know.
They ain't gonna know. But I remember a brother from Washington D.C. Don't know his name, but he sung a song, Tabitha. He sung a song, and it was open up the floodgates of heaven.
Ooh wee.
And it was and I thought he wrote that song, but I didn't find out till later till I was released that Bishop Paul S. Morton wrote that song. Tabitha, I sat in the back, he was playing the drums and singing that song. And I felt something. I didn't know what that something was. It I felt vulnerable. It was a hurt. It was a burden lift, like it was something lift off of me. I got emotional. It felt good. The tears was hot. I don't know what's going on, but I remember that I stood to my feet and I raised my hands. And I didn't know what to say. I just kept saying Jesus, 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 Jesus. I just kept repeating Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And this was a kid. This was a kid who had so many close encounters, who tried to kill people, and I'm talking about who really threw his life away multiple times. A kid who has been broken, torn, and just left out for dead. You talking about a kid, I was facing 24 years to life at 13 years old for a charge that I committed. Doing drugs at 11, doing cocaine and marijuana at 12 and 13 years old, drinking alcohol in the 5th and 6th grade. And it was like everything at that moment, the beatings that I received from my father, the abandonment that I received from my mom, people walking out of my life, people laughing, and the mark. It's like everything at that moment was lifted. It was lifted. And I remember for hours I cried. I cried from that. That was the day I walked down to that altar and I gave my life to Christ. And I didn't know. And I just said, God, from this moment forward, I will forever walk in your light and I will forever reverence your name and keep your name in my mouth. And whatever that you want me to do, I'm going to do it. I'm not coming back. And I never look back, Tabitha.
Goodness.
Come on. That's God.
Listen, that ain't nobody but them.
ain't
Nobody
ain't
but
nothing
him.
but
That's the old people have said. That ain't nobody but God.
come
That's
on,
the
ain't
old people
nobody but
saying
God,
it.
baby.
Nobody but God.
And don't get you started because listen, your skits is hilarious.
Don't you dare do it in here. Don't you dare.
Listen,
Don't.
girl. I sometimes I'd be like this. I said,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
it can't be a serious moment in her house.
It is. I'm I've got a healthy portion of all the serious. I'm a Leo, so it's always serious most of the time. But I like to cut up, and most people don't know that side of me. I try to be a little bit more transparent than most people would think. So
Yeah,
it's healthy and
it's
for
very
me
healthy.
anyway. For
I
me.
tell people laughter is good for you.
Oh, it is.
It's
It
good
is so
for
much
you.
so.
Yeah.
Now, with changes, we know that change isn't always an easy thing. And you're talking
Was it?
about a young African American man who has done so much in his life, and you're around people who know the old you, and
Ooh,
now you're in the transformation of changing. But
yes.
the people that knew the old you won't allow you to make changes. So how did
Oh,
you find the strength to be
come
able to say, listen, that is no longer me, and you keep going? Some people find it a little difficult because it's family members,
right.
it's friends, it's
Come on, Tab.
coworkers. You know what? You can't
Yes.
change. They still can't see past who you used to be.
Come on.
So
Come on.
my question to you is, how did you stay strong enough as a man, being in the streets, doing everything you did? How did you manage to stay strong enough?
This 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 interview is gonna bless a lot of people.
And it is.
It's gonna bless a lot of people. And I just had this question asked to me
Mm,
while we was doing a live interview yesterday from a guy from Michigan.
mm,
And the very question that you just asked me, somebody asked that same question. And it was hard not knowing how people will accept
Mhm.
the new. It was hard, if wondering if people will respect the direction that I'm trying to go. And it was at one point, yes, I wanted the support. It was at one point, yes, I wanted the people to get behind me. Yes, I wanted people to believe me, but I had to realize something very quickly.
Mm.
And God had to speak this in me. What I gave you and what I put in you ain't for everybody.
Ain't it ain't.
Where I'm taking you to, I
Ooh.
need you to stop trying to bring people with you.
Mm.
And the person that you have became, you have to understand there's going to be the people who is not going to respect or accept that new you
Mhm.
because they still attached to the old you.
Mhm. That is correct.
And the person who they are attached to is
That's
the
right.
person who they're familiar with because
That's
y'all grew up together.
that's
Y'all
right.
struggled together.
That's
Y'all
right.
went through y'all hard times and y'all hardships and y'all pains together. So they don't want to let go of that person.
Mm.
So the fact that the times where I was going through this transition, Tabitha, and this shift in my life, and knowing that wherever God has taken me to, that it was going to be a time where I have to remove myself and
Mhm.
let go of people who
Mhm.
I think listen, who I think or thought love me. But
Mm.
you're going to find out very quickly when you shift and you change and where God is pulling you
Mm.
and elevating you to, those who you thought that loved you, those who
Facts.
you thought that support you, you're going to realize very quickly it wasn't love in the beginning.
Mm.
Because those who love you and support you, they're going to support you when you know where God is taking you. You don't have to explain nothing to nobody
That's right.
because they're going to
That's right.
be able to identify it. But it was
Facts.
hard for me, Tabitha. It was hard
Facts.
for me. And and I'm gonna be very transparent about it. And still to this day, as I've changed my life for years and the lives that I impact and the achievements that I accomplish and the things that I continue to do, writing books, being the first one in my family to write books, not one book, not two books, but
Mm.
he's working on his third book. No one in
Mhm.
my family never told me, say, Arkevious, I see something in you. You can be the first one.
Mm.
I had to discover that in myself.
On your
You're
own.
talking about someone who's not only just an author, but an owner, a business owner, or
Mm.
entrepreneur, traveling the world. Someone who's
Mm.
took his pains, his struggles, and made a success out of it. And to this day, I do not get support from my mother. I don't get no support from my brothers. I don't get no support from my sisters. I don't get no support from my family. But it's okay. It's
Mhm.
okay. Because at the end of the day, you wanting people to cheer for you, and the person that you need to do, the person that you need to be looking for to cheer for you is yourself. The
That's right.
person that you got to speak life into is yourself.
That's
And
right.
so it was a struggle, but I had to come to grips to understand, if you're wanting people to root for you, if you're looking for those who to believe in you, from the ones who understand where you once was, they're still there, you will never get that.
Mhm.
Some people hate that you're succeeding in life.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And it's not, listen, it's not nothing against you. It's because you have become something they wish they can become, but they
Mm.
don't know how to do it.
That's right.
So it was a struggle. And still to this day, I've made my bed to understand I'm going to lay in this blessings and this grace God has given me. And I'm not going to sit here and turn and toss all night trying to wonder or worry why nobody ain't support me. I'm going to
Mm.
sleep comfortably. And
Mm.
I encourage anybody who's at that point right now, who know that God is trying to tell me to do something. God is trying to take me somewhere, but I'm waiting on that support from my family, my friends. No, listen, you keep waiting. If you want to, you'll miss your blessing.
You're absolutely right. When I'm doing my motivational Mondays, I tell people, I say, hey, um, it's like reading a blueprint to somebody else's dream home.
Mhm,
And of course, I can't understand it because I didn't create it.
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't for me, and it's not
Right.
my dream home.
Mm.
But that doesn't mean I can't say, you know what? I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait to see it. But you have some people who sit there, I mean, face all frowned up at you.
Mm.
Why you getting your house built?
Mm.
And we
Mm.
sometimes we want to be loved. We
Mm.
want to be supported. We want people to congratulate us. We're human. We want
Right.
people to know, especially the ones that know where we came from. Yes,
Absolutely.
we want those people, our family in particular,
Talk
our
about it, Tab.
good friends, our coworkers, anybody that we know. We
Mm-hmm.
want them to be our supporters. In a
Mm-hmm.
perfect world, we want them to be our supporters. But at the
That's
same time,
facts.
I tell people, what are you mad about? You're mad because they can't read the blueprints to your life that God made for just you. So
Come
you
on.
mad at them? Don't be mad at them. It's not meant for them to read it, because I guarantee you, if they could read it, they try to mess up some stuff.
Mm. Mm.
So when you talk about your life and who's going to support you, you have to realize ASAP, off the
Mm.
jump. And I can relate to that because, um, again, coming from where you're from, people that know you, I can't believe she's doing it. I don't know that
Mm.
Tabitha, or I don't know that Arkevious. That's not, I'm going to stick, this is the one I know, and I'm not going to
Right.
embrace the
Mm.
change.
Yes.
When God has moved in your life and when God is doing something with you, people understand that that's not a mistake. You
Come on.
can't mistake that for anything else but the man upstairs. You
Come on.
just know. You understand? You
Mm-hmm.
just know. And your biggest supporters are going to be people you don't even know, people who have never met you.
Yes.
And I'm telling you what I know.
Yes. Come on.
I sat
Come
on
on.
Facebook, and you know what? To anybody who's offended, then it must be you.
Come on.
Y'all know I'm good for being straightforward. But my Facebook full of thousands of people,
Yes. Uh-huh.
the supporters, though.
The supporters. You know what though,
Mm-mm.
Tabitha? The very thing that angers people
Mm.
is that no matter if I show them that I'm not going to support them, why are people still supporting her? And the reason why I say that, because as the people who don't support you, they noticing how the world support you, and it
Thanks.
burns them up inside. It irks them inside. You talking about support?
Mm.
I get flown around the world, Tabitha,
Mm.
literally flown around the world to impact people. People cry. People come up to me and hug me. People
Mm.
want me to sign my autograph. And I tell people this all the time. You let people see God bless you. Don't you listen? Don't you talk
Ooh.
about those haters? Don't you delete nobody? No, you keep them there because you know they watching.
Listen, I'm good for that. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you don't rock with me, you getting blocked. I don't want you. I don't want you seeing my new hairdo. I don't want you
Let
seeing
them
my new
see it.
lashes I just got done,
Let them
because
see
I
it.
feel like I'm big on spirituality.
Yeah.
I grew up in the church, so
Mm-hmm.
I know better. But I
Yeah.
don't want you prying. I don't want you looking, because then you have an opportunity to speak stuff in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And people, there's power in the tongue,
It is power in the mouth.
and you're
Yes, it
trying to
is.
figure out why you can't be successful. All you know is I'm sharing my success. I'm putting
Mm-hmm.
up my pictures of where I've been, but then you got some people saying some stuff and you can't figure out. But listen, sometimes it can get through and sometimes it can't. It
Yeah.
depends on what it is that's being said. Now, I'm not going to say that if God has you moving in this direction, there's nothing nobody can say or do that can
Yeah.
change that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in the case of you, Mr. Armstrong, now see, you done made me go way in left
No,
field. You done made me go
no,
way. This
I
interview
didn't.
has gone way left field,
I
but
didn't
I'm here
know.
for it.
It's in all of us. You know, a lot of people don't understand. Like you, God has given something inside of you that to
Mm,
help other people talk about their successes. Then He also gave you a personality where you can bring laughter to people who's going through stuff. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like, well, God gives you different talents and gifts. You operating in yours. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like they see the different facets
absolutely.
of your personality come out on podcasts and your
Mm.
skits. Like you're giving people so much substance. So this is like as you interview people, you're interviewing yourself at the same time. So
Absolutely.
yeah, go ahead. I ain't gonna get started. When I get started, I get worked up.
And I know, and I know it. Come on, Pastor. Come on with it. Come on, Pastor. No, and side note, in church, you go to church now though?
I'm not a member of a church right now. I always tell people, and I probably get a little backlash from this, is that I am the church. So when people
Oh,
ask me all the time and they hear
yeah.
me speaking in places, and they're like, you ain't no minister. I'm like, I'm not a minister. You know what I mean?
I
I
get
minister
that.
the gospel. And they'll be like, well, what church, what leadership you have? I said, up under Jesus Christ, I am the ministry. I am the church. And so
Hey.
people like I say that because I've had some controversial conversations with some pastors before. And I say,
Mm-hmm.
listen, this is nothing but a building. It's not
Mm-hmm.
a church or fellowship until the
I
people
know
come
that's
into
right.
it. And you know what I mean? So when I say that I'm the church, I don't say it to be cocky or arrogant, but no, spiritually, yes, I am the church. The gospel is in me. God is in me.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
when
right.
people meet me, if they don't see God in you when they meet you, then something ain't right.
Something's not right.
Yeah.
Ooh. Sheesh. Ooh. I tell people all the time, no, I used to get that when I first started with speaking. I
Yeah.
used to get that all the time. I used to get a lot of churches reaching out to me, a lot of pastors reaching out, male and female pastors,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, "Well, what church are you a member of?" None.
Nah.
Not a nary none, because I don't need a third party. Then that's
Mm.
just my personal opinion. Listen, and these are my personal views of in my city. In my city belongs to me, so ain't nobody for you to call and tell but me.
You're gonna be reporting to me.
Listen, you right now. This is who you gonna tell. These
Yeah,
are my views, and this is in my
my
city. This is
platform.
right now. This is my platform. But
Right.
I tell people I don't need a third party because you know church make you feel some type of way sometimes,
Uh-huh.
and you have the people who can't wear the fancy hats or the handy dandy pocketbooks and
Yeah.
shoes and stuff, but they want to know God.
They wanna.
But you have to also help them to understand that he's within you. You
Mhm.
can have church anywhere. You can have
And
church in the corner of your house. You can
we
have
having it
church
right
in your
now.
closet. You
This
don't
is
have to
this,
be in a
yeah.
specific you don't have to be in a specific building for him to hear
Mm-mm.
you and for him to operate within you. You don't have to be. And that's why I used to tell people, and it used to agitate a lot of pastors, but I was definitely strong in my beliefs because I come from church. Now, I'm
Mhm.
not one of those people that can say, hey, listen, turn to Psalm 79 and 96. It's going to say right here. I can't tell you what it's going to say.
Right.
I promise you I can't. It's somewhere in there about what I'm talking about.
You was
I
cutting
just
up
don't
in church.
know.
You was the one cutting up in church.
Actually, no. I
You
went to
wasn't?
church with my grandmother.
Oh no,
So
they
it
didn't play that. They
wasn't
didn't
no
play that.
cutting up.
Nah, they
Wasn't
didn't
no
play that.
cutting up. I'm
Now
trying to tell you.
you get that. You know that grandma, she hit you with that
Mm.
pinch. You know that she listen. Them old folks had something with that pinch. When they eyes, they just give you a look. You know to straighten up.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My grandmother. I had the pleasure of meeting my mom, staying with my mom's mom, and
Yeah.
she just had a look. She had a look.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, get
I've tell.
yourself together.
Ooh,
Govern yourself
yeah,
accordingly.
govern. Govern.
Govern yourself
I'm telling you,
accordingly.
I love it though.
Back to you though. You are doing some phenomenal things, and I want you to you have children?
I have all girls. I have four girls.
No boys.
No boy. Well, I mentor. Listen, a lot of people ask that, and it
Oh
probably
well,
goes into your question with the things that I do, as far as
yeah.
like impacting lives and mentoring. I have started my own organization, which is a nonprofit. It's called Step Up to Leadership, and it's a
Yes.
social development program where we teach entrepreneurship, business and trade, transformational coaching,
Mm.
man, social and personal etiquette and development. The list go on and on and on. We give kids exposure. So when people say you don't got no boys, listen, I have hundreds of boys who
You
I've
have hundreds
mentored,
of them.
and so no, I don't have any boys, but I have boys. Right now I got 17 boys, and
Wow.
I love, and they teenagers, 15, 16, 17 years old. And I'm telling you right now, I love it. God gave me something that I can pour back into young men, those young men who come from various situations like I came from. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to do the things that I do at the level that I do it, because I feel like a lot of times people wonder what is it that they can offer to the world and to people, how they can be of service. And I'm telling you right now,
Mhm.
me giving my commitment and my time and my energy to these young boys, bro, my God, you just have to be in the room, you have to be
Mm.
around them, and you have to see how they respond and respect, because
Yeah.
I show up every single time and I'm consistent and I love them,
Yeah.
I respect them.
Yeah.
Now I've lost some, I lost 2020. I lost two of my boys to gun violence. They got killed.
Mm.
One was 14, the other one's 16 years old. And so,
Sheesh.
and you're gonna lose some. You're not gonna be able to save all of them. And but I mean, the work has to continue to go on. And I promise you, every day is a fight, every day is a struggle. But this is what God gave me, Tabitha, and I promise you,
Mhm.
I can't set it down if I tried to.
That's right. That's how it usually is. It
Mm-hmm.
is. So,
Mm-hmm.
but you're doing an amazing job. Let me say first and foremost, with your girls, how are you? Are you as transparent? Do they know about like
Yes.
your life, your entire
Yes.
life? Yeah.
Yes.
What are they?
I'm not hiding that from them.
Yeah. So what are
No.
their how do they like when you told them I'd imagine you told them the story of the things that because kids think you ain't ever did nothing, you ain't been nowhere, and you so were they
Unf- un-
surprised?
Unfortunately, with me, all of my kids been around me through this whole journey,
Yeah.
and they've been around me when I speak in the areas where I talk about my challenges and me being in and out of the streets and stuff like that. Um, my middle daughter mom just reached out to me recently when she was telling me. She said, let me tell you what your daughter said. She said, I was talking to somebody on the phone about somebody got locked up. And so she said, which is my daughter name is Kayla. She said, Kaylin said, Ma, I thought we promised that we'd never talk about my daddy being in and out of jail. She said, God wasn't even talking about your daddy. She's 8. She's 8. But they love who their father is. They
Yeah.
see the impact. They see me speaking. They see me empowering people. They done we feeding homeless people. Like I always have
I
my
love it.
kids around me
Yeah.
in any chance and opportunity that I get. If I'm
Yeah.
speaking the weekend that I got them, they with me. They are with me. And so,
Mm.
and I want them to see that part of me because hopefully that it can spark something inside of them to have some type of compassion for life for other people and be a service to other people. I think truly that my actions have rubbed off on them as some type of way.
Mm.
Especially with my middle one. My middle one, she's a giver. My oldest one, she's selfish. She's selfish. And so I have to constantly remind my oldest one, it's okay to give. Don't always be expecting to be receiving something all the
Mhm.
time. She's 13,
Absolutely.
you know. But what I mean, I'm always transparent with my kids
Mm-mm.
because at the same time, you start hiding things, you start trying to be kind of like discreet about who you once was and some of your toughest challenges. Then when it finally come out, then you're trying to scrutinize and discipline your child. They're gonna be like, you act like you just like, where you hear that from? Nah, just be
Yeah.
honest. You know what I'm saying? Like even with these young boys that I mentor, I come from a level of transparency.
Mhm.
I was there. I'm not gonna act like that. I wasn't hell on wheels and hard to listen to. I mean, deal with.
Mhm.
No, I was devious, mischievous, conniving, anything that you could think of. I was doing it. So I come at a level that I understand them, and I want them to understand that I understand them, and I can help you. But you know what I mean. Some things that in life you're gonna have to learn on your own, and
Mm.
that's in anybody. That's anybody. Trial and error. Trial and error.
These days and age, you have so many different influences
Huh.
with children with mentoring and teaching young children. What do you feel like is the most difficult part, or is there a difficult part in there that is just kind of hard to get to some of them based off of you know um, where they're from or their home life or anything like that? What's going on? Is it hard for you to reach them? Is what I'm asking.
It is. It is
Mm.
hard for us to reach a lot of them,
Mm.
mainly because some of the things that they're mostly inspired by or involved
Mhm.
in or encouraged through is the music.
I
It's hard.
agree.
It's the music. It's the television. It's the internet. It's
Mm.
it's society. When we're trying to steer them in a direction where society is saying it's okay to be over here. You know what I mean? You can act however you want to act and still be valued and accepted and receiving, and people will love you if you excuse my language. You can act the ass. Come on, you still can if you want to turn up. Come on, we can get you the views. We can get you the
That's
love
right.
that you want. And so it is hard to reach a lot of them because a lot of them start looking more at the fact of what they're seeing every single day on the internet. And so
Mm.
we living in an internet world, we living in a digital world where that is the most important thing, where people are so focused on, like, how can I get verified? How can I get
Mhm.
viral? How can I get the likes? How can I get the followers? How can I get the comments? How can I get shared? And so people now wake up every single day more focused on the things that they see on the internet and not the social. You hear what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, when
Indeed.
when they look at the things that they see on, like, I think I saw something where, with the blue face and that girl, blue Chrissy Rocka, whatever her
Krishan.
name, Krishan, as a father of girls, it's bothering to me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm coming from a place where, as a father, it's bothering, because now I'm in the schools and these young girls start picking up these behaviors and they start thinking it's
Mm-mm.
okay. You know what I mean? I come from a level of a mentor, a father myself. These young boys think it's okay to sound and do and carry themselves a certain way, but it's hard when you can act like this and get on the radio shows. It's hard when you can put a video on YouTube and get views and that cut you a check. And so people saying, like, well, shoot, if this paying, I'm gonna keep doing it. And
That's
now
right.
it became a fad. It's a thing, and it's destroying. So no matter how, like, no matter how much I give myself, I'm gonna tell you a real thing that happened. My program was in an alternative school here in Charlotte. I'm gonna tell you the school. I don't mind saying school. My program was in. If you're in from Charlotte, it's called alternative school. It's called Turning Point Academy, and it's an alternative school for kids who are getting kicked out of school. My
Mhm.
program is in there for 16 weeks. I'm pouring twice a week. I'm pouring. I'm giving it to them. And one day, I wonder where all of these SUVs pulled up to the school. So as I'm coming out of school, it's the baby, the son, and all of them coming into the school. And I'm looking like, what the, like,
Hell.
this is not the influence you guys want to have at this school. Like the problem that the kids have is why they're in the school. Then you bring rappers who promote gun violence, who promote
Mhm.
gang violence, who
Mhm.
promote drugs, who promote all the abuse and
Mhm.
calling females out of their name, and you bring them in there. And so they wanted to do the news, they want to do a video, and you could just see how these people that brought them, it was a slap in my face, because I'm trying to help change the trajectory and the way that our young boys think.
Mm.
But you bring this type of environment into the school that keeps them where they at. And
Because
it
at
goes
this
back,
point,
and it's
go
going
ahead.
back to that you had a guest on your show, Charleston White. You know, and so there's some history kind of with me and Charleston White.
Uh-oh, let's get it.
So I mean, I'm not gonna bash him and not like that, but you know what I mean, when you, a few things, when you look at someone who's really in the community, who really about change for the youth, what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that really look like? When you have somebody like him, very, very articulate, very smart,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I challenge a lot of things. Because I know anybody can go to a school board and request a 2 minutes talk. Anybody can sit down at the city council meetings and request a 2 minute talk. That doesn't make you, just because you vote on certain laws, that doesn't make you the person who passed that law. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just because you go to schools, in which I really don't believe that schools can actually look at the videos that he have and the things that he do and say and the drugs that he smoked live and allow him in to come. Like, it's just, to me, like, I'm familiar with Texas.
Mhm.
The video that he went viral on with my friend Eric, CEO Boss Talk,
Mhm.
that's my partner. So before he even went viral, I was in Texas. I tell people, you can see the interview. Me and Charleston White was supposed to have been on that interview together. He didn't get to make it because Eric knew that I was a person who's in the community. He said, I'm gonna get Charleston to come up. And he showed me the video. And I said, I don't know. I was kind of like weary, but I'm like, bro, I don't know. I'm like, because I come from a different standpoint. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, our kids are more inspired by not what you say, but what you do.
Mhm.
So they're watching your behaviors, they're watching your videos,
Mhm.
and you can't reach kids like that. I don't reach kids by giving them $100. I reach kids by giving them the tools and the tools and the knowledge that can help them, and I show them by the lifestyle that I live. You don't hear me cussing. You don't see me rolling up blunts. You don't see me grabbing my crotch. You don't see me sitting here cussing out people, calling the women bees, you don't see me doing that. So how is that helping the youth? How is that helping anybody?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so we have to start calling people out for the nonsense, and and it's doing more damage than it's doing good. But it just go back to what I'm saying with the little baby stuff. You got people who's really out here doing stuff for the community, but you
Mm-hmm.
go bring rappers inside of the school to tell them what? Because your music is the very thing that's promoting what we're trying to
Mm-hmm.
save our kids from.
That is true.
So to your question, yes, when you're mentoring, the music has the kids so much in a chokehold. And like I said, Charleston White, he makes a lot of valid points. He makes a lot of valid points, but there's a lot of distraction that oversees the point sometimes. You know what I mean? The delivery, as they would say. I hope I answered the question though.
And you and you
I
did,
went on,
listen.
I went on and on and on.
And you did, but sometimes something he said in his interview that made sense. I have a lot of respect for a lot of the things that he says. Um, one of them was the fact that he talked about, I tried to deliver the message, but they weren't receiving the message. The positive message I tried to deliver was going into the hood in a suit and tie saying, hey, get yourself together. You got to change some things. This is not the way. This is not the street life. You try with the proper talking and you try and you try and you try, and it doesn't get anywhere. You're not breaking through. Now, granted, it will eventually, through repetition and consistency, eventually they'll know you. They'll get it together eventually. But what they respond to was what he said. He didn't have the patience to say, to see if they were going to get it together in the suit and tie and the jeans and the proper talking and the intelligent way and doing it this way and articulated that way. So what he did was he took the entertaining route. He took the dramatic route. He took the ratchet route to get everybody's attention. And then he started to deliver his intended message because he had everybody's attention. And my thing is you don't think that that's sad that these days and age that you have to divert from the plan. You're trying to deliver the message, but because of the way you're dressed or because of the way you're speaking, the message isn't being received the way you hope that the message would be received. So you try to figure out a way, hey, how can this happen? How can I make this happen? So you have a
Uh,
lot of people who give up and a lot of people like Charleston White who act a fool and do all this unnecessary stuff and deviate from the plan, gain the attention of everybody, and then attack them with the master plan.
well,
And then
I
they
think
start listening.
I met so many people like Charleston White,
Mm,
and what I mean by that is people who don't take you serious.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So you have people who's about the work that they say they're doing. Then you have people who's on both sides.
mm-hmm.
So and what I mean by that is this: you have people who have a heart for change, but hidden agendas and attention and intentions. And when you look at people like that, it's hard for anybody to take you serious when you're doing too much, you're causing a scene, and
Mm-hmm.
you're again. I remember seeing a video where he talked about um, selling weed to help give food and stuff like that to the youth. I don't know. I don't know if I listen, Tabitha. I'm in the community. You hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a part of a lot of these conversations with
Mm-hmm.
with the councilman and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
You cannot be in the hood selling weed and a part of that lifestyle and say that you people don't take you serious. The
Yeah.
community don't take you serious because you're doing everything for the wrong intentions. I
Yeah.
met plenty of people like Charleston White.
Mm.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of people in like you said in my city in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's just like a Charleston White. It's for attention, and he found his lane.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that he has the audience, he can say the things that he's saying and get the audience. But you
That is
got to
true.
realize he's doing it through a device that can reach the masses.
Mm.
But in person, he's not. And and it's funny because no one, and I say this, no one can ever say, show me your track record.
Mm.
Like when did we get away from people saying like, show me your receipts? Meaning that don't show me a 12-year clip of a newspaper. Don't show me just you taking pictures with kids. Show me your curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
Show me the evidence that you took something from this to that. Like there's a lot of things that just because laws will pass, listen, a law will pass because you voted. And this you have the right to say that I helped pass the law
Mm.
because you voted on that law. But doesn't mean that anybody who voted for that law know who Tabitha Simmons is.
Mm-hmm.
She just voted on that ballot just like everybody else. But the problem is that we don't. Social media is got to the point now. People just like what they see and don't dig for the truth no more. People
Mm-hmm.
like a lie than the truth. And
You're
so
right.
my problem is like, yes, there's a lot of things that I get overlooked, and I'm doing it the right way. But the problem is, I'm not trying to go out here and do other things to taint everything that I stand for. Like
Absolutely.
if I sit here and like you say, man, you very powerful, but you see me in the club throwing up shots, you see me in the strip clubs, you see me selling weed, you see me doing all type of other type of things away from. Wait a minute, he's painting this picture on social media, but he have a whole different type of lifestyle.
Mm.
No one is going to take you serious. The problem with Charleston White, I have nothing against that brother.
Mm-hmm.
The fact of the matter is, the community didn't take him serious. The state didn't take him serious. I think he got videos where he'd go to these rallies just screaming, cussing, saying, I want to F white. Like, who's going to take you serious when you act the way you act and you just found your niche on social media and he's just going to keep running it? He's going to keep running it home. I think I saw a video where youth was cussing him out, calling him all type of bees.
Mm.
You can't be, I could walk in any neighborhood and people who know me is love. I could walk in any school is love because I stand what I preach and I practice what I preach. And that's why when you go to my social media page, you see the impact. You know what I mean? So my problem with the mentoring today that our youth spend more time on their devices and they're more controlled by the things they see than the things they actually hear from people who's about it. So it's a struggle a lot because it's entertainment to them. That's the world we're living in right now, Tabitha. We're living in an entertainment world right now.
But that goes back to the parents. If the
Mm,
parents are involved in the children's lives,
yeah,
we as kids, we went outside and played. We just had dial
yeah.
up. The little AOL man running across the little screen like this with the AOL dial up. But my
You
dad
telling
was
your age now.
adamant. Listen, I'm happy to be here. I am 40
Oh,
whole too, and I'm excited to just
there we
be
go.
here.
We the
You
same. We
understand?
we the same.
I'm excited to just be here. But you have it lies in the parents and the
Hmm.
decision for the parents. A lot of parents leave their children to their own devices. As
Yeah,
long as they ain't bothering me, as long as they ain't
yeah.
fussing and doing nothing, they ain't got no business. Just leave. I leave them off. I leave
Hmm.
them alone and leave them
Hmm.
to themselves. Meanwhile, they on the internet.
Hmm.
God doing God knows what, talking
Come
to
on.
God knows who,
Hmm.
saying God knows what, portraying this because it's what they see. Now, if we actually took it back, spent some quality time, I'm sure it's some people in there probably done forgot they even have two kids
Hmm.
upstairs because they ain't seen them in so
Hmm.
long. You ain't spent personal time with
Hmm.
them in so long. Put them phones up and have
Yeah,
dinner like we
yeah.
used to do
We
back in
used
the
to.
day.
Hmm.
Make them put them phones up. They can go for a little while.
Hmm. And I feel like to me is that we have gotten away from that.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm,
it's like you said, it's the parents, it's the
mhm.
teaching, it's the parenting, it's the guidance. It's yes, as long as he on his device and as long as he not bother me or she's bothering me, as
Mhm.
long as that, you know what I mean, I'm not getting no reports, I'm okay. No, it's not okay
Mm,
because now we become so socially disconnected
that is
that you
correct.
can't even have a conversation with your own child. You
'Cause you
can't
don't
even have
know them.
you don't know them. You can't even have a conversation with your own spouse because you don't even take the time out to have a conversation.
Mm,
And I tell people this all the time. That's why we are where we are right now.
that's right.
That's why we are where we are right now. Go have a conversation with somebody. Right now, their attention span is so short. There are people right here that is adults that's watching, you will watch this live, and there's people that follow you that will
Mhm.
comment on this, the things, those 2-minute videos. If you put out a video right now with a very powerful whatever for 7 minutes, nobody will watch that.
No, and you know what? You are absolutely telling the truth. But I put some foolishness up.
Oh,
They all
you're
over
gonna
it.
hit,
It's
you're gonna get hits. Hit-
17.22 thousand. And I'm sitting here looking like this is foolishness. This is what
People,
you're attracted to. But then you have somebody trying to help you, or you have
mhm,
somebody trying to help somebody or saying something positive, and you scroll right by it, or you might
mhm,
even like it. But you're absolutely right. It happens, especially to
mhm.
me. Oh, it happens.
That's a social issue.
Yes.
That's a social, because I'm more gravitating towards the entertainment that
Hmm.
capture my eye, opposed of something that I have to sit down and listen to that can
And
change my
think
life.
and
And so
think.
when we got away from sitting down,
Hmm.
having conversations, it
Hmm.
could potentially change a life. But if anything, it helped us build something.
Hmm.
That relationship. We ain't
Absolutely.
building relationships no more.
That's
Not in
right.
the house, not in families, not in the communities, nowhere.
We're not doing it.
Nowhere in the churches. Let's talk about it. We're not
Ooh,
building relationships in the churches, because churches now more about entertainment.
ooh,
It's more about songs. It's more about the lights. It's more about feeling like you at a concert. Then I'm going to get up here and preach for 20 minutes. I'm gonna send you home. Like we lost that
come on,
social
Pastor.
connection. we, but we're
I'm
lost.
sorry. Go ahead.
No. We've gotten so away from it.
Yes.
We got so away from it. Families don't even come together.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They rather watch a video. They rather watch a social media page than pick up the phone and call you.
Mm.
You hear what I'm saying? We've gotten so disattached from social connection that we're so
Hmm.
distant and disconnected from each other.
We become numb.
We become numb
Numb.
and desensitized to
Numb.
how we can
Hmm.
connect with each other, build with each other, grow with each other. That's why you have so many people now, when you look at, they spend their whole entire day,
Hmm.
life on social media.
Yeah. They don't know
I
what's going on
They
outside,
don't know
especially the
what's
young
going on.
ones. You tell them to go outside. You tell a young kid these days, go outside and find something to look, go outside and play. They finna look at you like you crazy.
What I'm gonna
And
go
and
do?
what I'm supposed to do? That's and do what
What?
outside? I don't know. Make a mud cake or something like we used to do.
Man,
Play hopscotch. Just a lot of
uh,
stuff out there. Go figure it out. Use your
figure it out.
imagination.
No, they don't have that. Kids don't have
Mm-mm.
the luxury
Mm.
of using their imagination. And here's
Mm.
the thing: when we was coming up, Tabitha, because you and I are the same age,
Mm.
everything about school, everything was on television,
That's
everything
right.
about the community. We used our imagination, and we used our creativeness to have fun. And we created things by using our imagination. And I'm talking about the things that we had the luxury of experiencing. These kids now don't. And I'm telling you,
No?
they have it a lot harder. They do. They have it a lot harder
Yeah.
than we had it, because we had the gift to have family. We had the
Mhm.
gift to have the opportunity to do things in the community, and the community came together to make
Mm.
sure that the kids wasn't involved in nothing bad. We had
Mhm.
the luxury of going over a friend's house, and we could spend a night, and our parents
Mhm.
trusted that. They knew that you was in good hands.
Mhm.
We had the luxury of staying out all night, and our parents didn't have to worry if we was going to make it home. We had the luxury of walking to school, and we got to school safely, and my parents didn't have to worry about if somebody done picked up our
That's
child.
right.
So we had
That's
we
right.
it's our kids have a lot
Yes.
to deal
Yes.
with. You know what I'm saying? And so I my heart goes out to them.
Mhm.
That's why I take it so serious about everything that I see. You know what I'm saying? I love to laugh, but there's a lesson in everything. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Again, it's not to bash nobody, it's not to talk about nobody,
Mhm.
or belittle anybody. It's just sad that, when we have the luxury to using a device to do so much great things, so many people choose to do the opposite.
Do otherwise. You're right. You're absolutely right. What you were saying, it takes a village. My
It takes
grandmother
a
used to
village.
say that all the time. The village is not the same. Our grandmothers, our grandfathers,
Mm,
our aunts and our uncles, the village.
mhm.
It wasn't anything that I could do down the street. If I got in trouble down the street, I'm probably gonna get my behind whooped down the
Oh
street.
yeah.
And then when I get home, I'm gonna get my behind whooped again for showing out
Hmm.
and embarrassing my family,
Hmm.
if that was the case. But we've lost sight of the true goal. And this is what we have to work with because they're next up.
Mm,
These children are next up. Look at them.
mm,
Sit down and look at these children. These are the ones that
mm,
are going to be running things. These are the ones that are coming up right after us. Right after us, these children out here.
mm.
This is what we have to look for. You want to know if you're doing a good job? You sit down and you watch and you pay attention to these children. You pay attention to your children and you say, okay, if I leave here today, is my child going to be good? Is
Come
my
on.
child going to be all right in the world that we're living in right now?
Hmm.
I
And that,
guarantee you, I guarantee you, half of you will be like, you know what? I don't even trust
mm-mm,
them bringing me breakfast because she don't even know how to cook.
they don't, mm-mm.
Half of you gonna say no.
The village doesn't exist, and what we have left, you have to realize those individuals who are controlled by what we're dealing with today,
Mm-hmm.
the the responsibility that we have to pass to them, they're going to destroy what's left. So you have those people like the Blueface and his girlfriend.
Mm.
That generation,
It's
they're
over
going
with.
they're going to destroy whatever's left, and
Mm-mm.
they will burn whatever's remaining to stay warm.
They're
When
not.
we was coming up, it was a village because we knew how to come together to
That's right.
keep warm. We knew how to come together to support one another. We knew how to come together. If one family was struggling, somebody stepped up, made sure
I
that they
know
had
that's
something
right.
in that refrigerator.
I know
Somebody
that's
stepped up,
right.
made sure if their kids need to come over here to spend the night while the mom was at work. We
And
knew how to
yeah,
step, our parents knew, or our people in the community knew how to step up
that's
to
right.
support one another.
That's right.
Even when it was church, when somebody didn't come to church, from my understanding, that hold on, we don't see Sister Jenkins here. Have anybody checked on her and make sure she good? Now the pastor don't even know who's in the congregation.
There's no
Now the
idea.
congregation don't even have a relationship with people in the congregation, because even when the pastor say look to your neighbor to the right and say this, half of them don't even want to look to the right.
And that's me. Half of them is me. I'm gonna tell you right
Okay.
now. Let me. Half of them
Oh,
is me. Because first of all, I have no idea who you are. I'm not
it
finna.
doesn't matter.
No. When
Look
he
at you.
say that, this is me.
Why your arms crossed?
Because this me. And I ain't gonna do it.
Stubborn. Just
Look to
stubborn.
your neighbor. Listen, and I am, but it's God,
Who is
we could
your
go on.
neighbor? Who is your neighbor? Me, myself, and I.
We can go on for days and days. And no. Look to your neighbor and tell your neighbor. And what you want me to tell them?
Because you gotta constantly talk to him through the whole service. Because the pastor's gonna constantly keep telling, look to him again, tell him this. Look again, say this. Listen, I'm tired of talking to him. I don't even know this person.
I know, but Arkevious, you have let me just first and foremost before we get to the good stuff where you tell everybody all the good stuff that you got going on, what you got coming up, where you're gonna be, social media, all that good stuff. Let me just say to you, congratulations. And I appreciate what you've done for yourself. And I appreciate what you're doing for these young kids out here, young men, young women, whomever it is, whose ever lives that you may have touched through being so transparent with your life. You are a phenomenal man, and I appreciate and I am so thankful that we have men out here like you who are willing to do this because again, it takes a village. And it's a heavy burden to bear. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's heavy because you seen these kids
Yeah,
these days. Y'all seen these
yeah,
kids?
yeah,
It takes a lot.
yeah.
And I applaud you for understanding the goal, understanding the vision, and continuing to do
Hmm.
what you're supposed to do. Because that ain't nobody but God.
Come on,
Hello,
girl.
people. That ain't nobody
Yeah,
but God got him
that ain't
doing
me.
that.
That ain't me.
That's
That's God.
God.
Take it. I always say, take that up with God. Take that up with God.
Mr. Armstrong, look, what I want you to do is let everybody know what you got going on right now. We talked about the book that you have. We talked about
Absolutely.
what you talked about that, and you beat me to it. I don't like that. Now I ain't know if I'm gonna ask you back or not because you
Hey,
you just talked
hey,
about everything and threw my
hey,
little paper out.
we might need to make that co-host thing happen. So, uh,
Listen,
I'm
We
telling
have
you.
to talk. You're right there in Charlotte. I'm in Charlotte. My mother lives in Charlotte now, so I'm
Yeah.
back and forth
Where
for
you
the most
from?
part. I'm from Sumter, South Carolina. Don't you even do it. You ain't gonna be. And you know what? I'm not. We're not gonna do this.
Not,
Not on camera. Not on
nah,
camera.
it's
It's
okay.
not. It wasn't so bad when I was growing up. I can say
Yeah.
that. I have great memories, but again, these are what's upcoming, and this is what's happening.
Right.
Anyways, but yeah, I'm from South Carolina. No, I don't have a country accent. I
You
sure
don't.
don't. My dad was in the military, so we moved
Okay.
all over the place. So I got a little bit of everything, everything,
Okay.
and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for that.
Got you.
Um, Tell everybody what you have coming up, where they can find you on social media, because you have a lot of people who are interested that have this is their first time seeing you and
Absolutely.
hearing you, and they love it. Go
I
ahead
love
and
it. I
have the
love it.
flow. Go ahead.
Man, well, listen, first and foremost, Tabitha, thank you for inviting me, having me on your show in my
Mm,
city. I
mm.
feel like it, listen, if you're going to have anybody on your show, you need to have somebody who's representing the city very well. And that
Facts.
is myself. So again, thank you so much. If anybody are in the city, you want to be a part of what I'm doing as far as the program. We always looking for volunteers. We always looking for a helping hand. If you want to support what we do for our organization, I want you to go visit www.sutlnc.org. That's sutlnc.org. We are also on Instagram. You'll see all the amazing work we're doing. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's step up underscore leadership. You can go to Facebook, step up to leadership as well. If you're looking to support what I do as far as any one of my events, I want you to go to my website. That's www.arkinspire. That's ARKINSPIRE.com. Visit my website so you can stay updated with all the latest events that we have coming up, as well as you want to support my book, my latest book, Confidence from Within, 60-Day Challenge. Go to my website. It's there. You'll see a lot of the merch, a lot of the other things that I have out there. Man, listen, I just love. Please follow me, though. Step up to leadership, Ark
Yes.
Inspire. I'm on IG, Ark Inspire 81. I'm on Facebook, Arkevious Armstrong. If you don't remember nothing, I always say, just Google me. You'll find it. Hey, when you get to that point where you tell people, just Google me, okay, you must be doing something
He
then.
must be doing something. You know how we get. You got to
Yeah.
be doing a little something. If you say, just Google me. Oh, he
Oh,
doing
oh,
something with himself. That's how we do.
what you
Black people.
doing?
He doing something with himself.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful.
Mm.
At the same time, I'm just doing God's work. You know what I mean? I'm just
Mm-hmm.
really doing God's work. I'm a vessel. I'm a vessel. And I
Mm.
just want to continue to be a vessel. And so if you guys are interested in being a helping hand and allow me to be a vessel to you, follow me on any one of those sites.
You said something that rattled my whole entire spiritual being just now when you talk about loving the fact that you're a vessel
Mhm.
from what he had to work with. You
Mm.
understand what I'm saying?
Ooh,
From what he had to work
work with.
with. And I'm
Look
getting
what
ready
he,
to go there real quick. Like,
come on.
look what he had to work with. Look how messed up I was. But in spite of, he still chose
Ooh,
me.
me.
And he did. He still chose me. He still chose you no matter how messed up on the outside.
Come
You
on.
probably wouldn't have chose me, but he did.
He
He
did.
thought enough of me to say, I'm going to work something out because it's still some goodness,
Come
it's
on.
still some greatness in you, and I'm gonna bring it out of you.
Come on.
Mm.
Come on.
Sheesh.
Come
Ooh.
on. And
Ooh.
if I could echo with what she's saying, listen, what everybody don't see,
Mm.
God see. And
Facts.
like you said, what people think is over with, God see redemption.
Mm.
What God can work through you, can't no man do. And I'm
Fact.
telling you right now, like you said, Tabitha, what he had to work with, look what he
Mm.
turned it into.
Look what it's looking like right
Come
now.
on, man.
Ooh.
And if he
Look
did it
what
for
it's
me,
looking
he'll
like.
do it for you.
Ooh.
He can do it. He
That's
could turn
right.
anything around. He can do anything and work any miracle. I'll tell people I don't look like what I've been through simply
Ooh.
because it's what he done through me.
Mm.
It's what he done through me. And again, man, it's just an honor. It's an honor. I promise you that if it's anything
Mm.
that far as coming back, being a part of what you're doing, just being a
Facts.
light, you know what I mean? Don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate.
Listen, I'm gonna have you back, and you're gonna see me in your city. I'm gonna keep up with what you have going on. I'm definitely gonna show up and see and interact with you, and be a part of what you have going on, because this is phenomenal. We
Absolutely.
need more positivity. We need more light these
Hmm.
days, because this is looking kind of it's looking kind of dim out there.
Yeah.
But it's still some good people out
Oh
there trying to do
yes.
some great things, and I
Hmm.
love it. So you'll be seeing in my city. You'll be seeing me. We're gonna be up
Oh
there.
no, you about I feel it in my spirit. You about to be doing some major things. You about to be popping. It's
we
in you.
about to we about to we got some, we're gonna talk,
Yes,
you and I, because this is a I believe that everything happens for a reason. You
absolutely.
meet everybody for a particular reason, and while you nor I may not know why our paths have crossed, they did, and I am
Right.
thankful that I now know you. So I can't call you my friend, because you, I ain't you didn't buy me no chips, and everybody know I love chips. So we ain't
What
friends
kind of chips?
until I get my
You
chips.
gotta tell me. I don't know
Salt
what
and
type.
vinegar, Lay's salt and vinegar, and we ain't friends until I get them chips. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
Don't worry. I get a case. I get a case, and
Listen,
watch your lips be white around.
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Um, I'm gonna ask you one last question that I ask
Yes,
all of my guests.
absolutely.
If you could look a young Arkevious
Ooh,
Armstrong in the mirror, hold on now. Let me,
I keep him
come on,
right there.
come
I
on,
keep
Pastor.
him right there.
Let me do it. Let me do
Come
it.
on, come on. Mm.
If you could look a young Arkevious Armstrong in the mirror right now, standing in front of you, what would you say to him?
You're enough.
Mm,
You're enough. No matter what you're going through right now, you're enough. The pain that you're feeling is only temporarily. They will remember you. You are important. Regardless of what it may feels like, you are important. Keep your head high. Keep that smile on your face. Don't you drop your head. Regardless of what they say or regardless of what it looked like, you're going to be somebody that they will remember. And it's I love that question because that's why I keep that picture right there on my desk.
oh, look at you. We're gonna talk about that sweater later. But go
No,
ahead.
I was the first one with that was Coogee. That was it was
We're
Coogee
gonna talk
before
about
it
that
was
later.
Coogee. But it's crazy. It was crazy that I found this picture and I looked at that picture and I remember I wrote on the back of it with a pencil, 10 years old. I was 10 years old on this picture.
Mm,
I had already been in 2 foster homes by this age. I had already been molested 4 times by this age. I was being beaten by my father at this age. I was separated from my mom at this age. So I look at this picture and I realize I still had the courage to smile.
mm, mm,
And so often that we don't understand that our kids remember everything they been through. And I forgave my mom when I was 36. My father committed suicide.
mm,
I was his only son. So not been able to give him that opportunity to forgive him.
mhm,
I had to spiritually forgive him
mhm,
because I held on to all of that pain. I held on to everything that everybody did to me. I held on to it. And as I was traveling around the world speaking, I was still holding on to this pain. I had to release it. I had to release it because no matter what, I was still that little boy. I was that little boy. So that's what something that I would share with Arkevious. You're enough. You are important. They will remember you. You're
mm,
gonna turn it around. Blessings, man. God, Lord have mercy.
mm, 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 mm.
Hmm.
We're gonna ask the choir to bless us with a song real quick.
Mm, girl,
Let me stop, Sean.
you know, Tabitha.
We've been
Listen,
asked the choir to bless us with a song.
I was sitting here saying to myself, I hope we're not gonna laugh this whole entire time. Because I'm like, I love the spirit. Trust me, I watch you. I
Yeah,
watch it.
that's what's up.
I watch it. I said, Lord have mercy, this girl right here.
I try to separate from the two. A lot of people that offside. I know the interview over, everybody. We talking. We just chilling because we can.
Have you ever thought about doing? Have you ever? What's the character? What's her name?
Ida.
You ever thought about doing an interview with Ida?
I have. I talked to my other half about it, and he was like, "Why you want to interview yourself?" And I'm like,
Oh,
"Because
that'd be dope.
it would
That'd
be
be
pretty
dope.
dope." You know what I'm
That'd be
saying?
dope.
Because that's she was my way out. Actually, she's got
Oh
such a
my god!
spiritual meaning, and she's so feisty, and she's my grandmother.
I
And
want to
that
see that.
allowed me to be able to, when she passed away a few years ago, that allowed me to be able to cope and to
Wow.
deal. So everything that she is, minus a few of the cuss words, but some of the cuss words, because she
Yeah.
cuss, that's my grandmother to the
Listen,
T.
you got to do it. You have to do an interview with Ida. You have to.
I'm gonna
You
make.
have to. You
Don't you start now. Listen, I want you to
no.
hang tight. I want you to hang tight right here. We're gonna finish. We're gonna finish talking. Don't leave the interview just
I
yet, but
got you.
just hang tight right there. Listen, everybody. I want to thank each and every one of you for sitting down this whole hour and some change, rocking with me and my special guest, Mr. Arkevious Armstrong. Mr. Armstrong, again, we thank you so much for stopping by in my city, and this is the first of many. Listen, we talked about the co-host thing now. I'm gonna be we gonna
Let's
talk.
make it happen.
Thank you guys so much and have an amazing night and stay safe. Put them phones down and find something on TV
They
or
not gonna do it.
find something to talk about with your cheering or whatever. Have a good one.